Hello. So, book review. Been a bit. So yeah, I finished reading the Codename Sailor V manga by Naoko Takeuchi. This is the Eternal Edition. It's collected in 2 volumes for the Sailor V. Uh, I actually finished reading the entirety of the Sailor Moon manga, Eternal Edition. But I'm only going to talk about the Sailor V one. The Sailor Moon one it's very long. Very good though. I will say, if you do want to read Sailor Moon and Sailor V, I definitely recommend the Eternal Edition. It's got really good translator notes. It's got several pages at the back of each edition, each volume, with various translator notes, which sort of explain cultural context around certain things. Ranging from honorifics to newspapers to cultural references that the manga makes, stores that get referenced, stores and brands that get referenced or homage. Very good translator notes, and yeah, they like sometimes they'll occasionally translate something in a different way from previous translations, and they'll explain why they chose the translation they did, or even if it is similar to how other editions translate it, they explain the reasons behind why something is translated the way it does. So yeah, the Eternal Edition is just very good in general. Plus, good size, good size pages, easy to read. So, Sailor V. First, first issue, first volume story. The first issue of Sailor V. I call it an issue, but they were running it was serialized in a magazine. The first story was done as a one shot in August 1991, a few months before the first Sailor Moon story, which started in December of 1991. So only a couple months, but only a few months. But it was very much a precursor. It was very clear that Takeuchi was sort of using this to sort of learn what she wanted to do with Sailor Moon, I think, to a certain extent. I feel like that was sort of part of it. From there on, it did run until 1997. So it did run for several years. But there'd be months would go by without a new volume. Excuse me. Ran for 16 volumes total. As far as the art goes, I mean, honestly, it's cute art. I do like the art, and she is a good artist. Also, yes, there's color ones. In general, the art in general is not as good as it is in the Sailor Moon manga. I suspect that Takeuchi probably used this book as just a little bit of maybe stress relief. Because Sailor Moon could get very heavy. That manga, there's always a lot of humor as well, but it could get very heavy at times. Uh, Sailor V, pretty much throughout, is funny. It is very comedic in tone, basically right to the end. Um, it's just like it feels like it might have been a way for Takeuchi to occasionally just sort of let loose and enjoy herself. Uh, the storylines are goofy. Uh, the plots are very repetitive. It is very, very repetitive story. Um, but that works for something aimed at younger readers, which this probably was. Uh, Sailor V, aka Sailor Venus, uh, is also Minako Aino. That is her civilian, her real identity, Minako Aino. And then she transforms into the pretty suited, the pretty sailor suited guardian, Sailor Venus, codename Sailor V, uh, where she uses crescent brooch to do basically whatever she needs to do, whatever the plot needs her to do. She kind of has a lot of powers in it in this one. Through her crescent, not brooch, but her crescent. What was it? Crescent mirror. Yeah, crescent mirror. Um, Gives her a lot of powers that aren't actually in that she doesn't display in the Sailor Moon manga. Interestingly, uh, yeah, Minako is very athletic, but other than that, she's also kind of just a mess. She is very, very charming. She is an exceptionally charming character. Uh, really fun. Uh, Very high energy. Uh, just a little bit manic sometimes. Uh, she has a lot in common with Sailor Moon. Uh, they're both kind of ditzy, bad at school, um, a little bit boy crazy. Uh, though in the manga, Moon gets over that very quickly, I should say. Um, she's big into celebrities. Yeah, big difference is that she is very, very athletic. So the top athlete at her school, and she's only in middle school. Like she's a junior, I think, in middle school. Yeah. And she does tend to just kind of roll with things. And yeah, she's very goofy, but something needs done, she gets it done. Monster needs to be fought. Sure, she'll fight it. Some of the early stories, a couple of the early issues, she sort of indicates to her talking cat Artemis, hey, I haven't decided if I'm actually going to go along with this. But she never really resists. She really does just like, hey, I never said I was going to agree to this, and then she just, it's not like there's no like serious, there's never an indication of a serious. Oh, do I really want to be doing this? Do I really want to be putting myself at risk like this? She almost seems to, like the whole like I never said I agreed to it. Almost seems more playful, more teasing. Um, as I said, she is boy crazy. She does get a lot of crushes. There's a joke at one point about her having her 5,000th crush. One of the sort of late issues. Congratulations on 500th crush. A couple of those crushes she ends up having to kill. Her first love. The first issue has her dealing with her first love, who she ends up having to kill. I'll note that that is something that actually does get brought up in the Sailor Moon manga at one point as well, where she's thinking back on like her first crush, her first love, and it's like, oh right, I killed him, like, which is just wild. She does get her story is wild at times. Also, police. There's a female police chief who really, really, really loves Sailor V and wants to recruit her, and keeps sending out one of her officers to try to find and apprehend her. And that dude hates her because he feels she's taking attention and credit away from the police, and so he hates her. And it's all very fun. That police chief, is also kind of demented in just how much she loves her. She loves Sylvie. Um, and yeah, it's all very silly, very fun. Until the last couple issues. The last couple issues were. Oh, something else I'll mention. As the series went along, uh, there'd be occasional sort of guest appearances from Sailor Moon characters. So, like, there's an arcade that Venus tended to hang out at a lot, which is also where her secret base was. Um, it's the same arcade that Usagi, Sailor Moon, started going to in the Sailor Moon manga. So one of the stories, Venus is at the arcade, and Usagi and her best friend, Naru, are outside. And there's sort of similar guest appearances from other characters here and there. Sailor Mars shows up at one point, so the like before they're before they were transformed, before they found out their souls. So there's some really entities. There's just sort of like brief 1-2 panel appearances by them, which are a lot of fun. It's always very fun when that happens. The final two issues are really meant to bridge her over to the manga. The final two issues are sort of like it is when she discovers, when she figures out uh, who she is. And while those two issues are still pretty silly a lot of times, uh, they do also get a lot. They are also a lot more serious than the rest of the manga, the rest of the issues. Just because, like I said, it is sort of meant to represent. It is sort of meant to be her shifting over to really being Sailor Venus from the shifting her over to the Sailor Moon manga, which again had struck a different tone. Yeah, that was a mix of comedy and drama. So those two issues, those final two issues, were actually like really, really interesting. I really like those issues. Anyway, I enjoyed it. Yes, the stories are repetitive. Yes, they are, a bit on the light side. They are silly and everything. But, they're fun. They're fun stories. And, I enjoyed them. On a side note, I've also enjoyed Sailor Moon Crystal. I've just got the movies left for that, and I've made my way through Sailor Moon Crystal, the 3 seasons of that. Just got the 2 movies for that, the 4 movies. So I'll finish that soon. And decided whether to do a review. Let me know if I should do a review of Sailor Moon Crystal. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. So, bye.